What's good, everybody? A good morning. The birds are chirping. Now, this used to be a 10 scary videos for chills. The thing is that one, I had to go to work. I have 4 hours to make a video, wipe this stuff up, do stuff, yada yada, and sitting it out. So let me stop talking and watch this video.
Video released by the Jonesboro Police in Arkansas looks normal at first, but an extremely unsettling moment is about to unfold. At exactly 1 minute, this woman taps on the shoulder of a teenager and seems to ask her a question. The teen points to someone at the counter, and then something bizarre happens. So it looks like this girl was waiting for her mother, who is the cashier, to get off work, when some scary lady walks up and grabs her without warning. Her mother intervenes and manages to separate the two before anything else can happen.
Man, watch your kids, man. No matter what you do, how you do it, watch your kids. Because yes, you got cameras, and if it does work, because some places out there are having fake cameras and stuff. That's why I ever do something, two things might happen. If I do get caught, I always say check the cameras, because a lot of times they are BSing. Sometimes not. And man, y'all need to be safe out there. Watch your kids. And you, the cashier, why can you not put it in the back? It should be a back white, like white there. Or I might be wrong.
It's frightening to think about what she would have planned to do next if she had successfully taken this girl out of the gas station. Probably nothing good, and the already strange situation only gets weirder from there. The woman confronts a customer who doesn't know her at all and accuses him of doing something that she clearly was just caught on camera doing herself. She hangs around for a bit longer, and everyone is just kind of shocked and doesn't know how to react. She leaves a minute later, but not before giving the girl a really creepy wave goodbye that I'm sure freaked her out even worse than she already was. After that, the same woman is seen on CCTV at the nearby Turtle Creek Mall. She walks across the food court and disappears behind a pillar. That's when a woman gets up and runs over to her.
Dang, they
you can
still
see the
got
woman
malls?
has grabbed another juvenile, this time a confused 4-year-old.
Oh,
That's when mall security rushes in to apprehend the woman and contact police. On both occasions, the woman claims that she feared for the safety of the children and tried to remove them from the situation to get them away from a perceived threat. But as you and I can clearly see, the children...
I'm not a violent person. I'm just saying that if you grab somebody's kid, three things might happen. You get shot. I hope not. You get beat up. Or they probably say, have them. I hope not, but man, nope. I got a kid coming in my way too. That scares me. The future of the United States scares me.
Appeared to be completely fine, at least not until she approached them. The fact that she would try this twice in one day shows that she is clearly delusional. As far as I know, this woman is yet to be sentenced and may instead be committed to an institution. On October 27, 2018, a 26-year-old post office worker named Kiera Coles went missing in Chicago, and her disappearance has never been explained. A neighbor's CCTV camera shows Kiera is about to head to work in her postal uniform, but instead of walking to her car like usual, she instead walks up and down the street, passing by her residence 2 times before crossing the street and disappearing for good. Pacing back and forth in front of her house indicates that Kiera was in a state of confusion, if not distress. Nobody else is seen on camera, but I think she could have felt watched and didn't want someone to see where she was parked or where she lives. Kiera later calls out of work at the post office, which is weird considering she was dressed and ready to leave, and she is never found or heard from again. Her friends told authorities that they didn't think she would disappear on purpose and hadn't been acting strangely lately. She was pregnant with a child and unlikely to do anything out of the ordinary or leave unannounced.
Come on. I would talk to a boyfriend, a husband. That's it. Like, or family. 'Cause those are or somebody else, but I hope she's safe. I hope she's still alive. I hope the baby's still alive and okay. Or she's tired of the BS and just left. Left her car keys, left her, car. Just only take the wallet.
Further add to the mystery, her mother searches Kiera's car later on and finds her daughter's purse and phone are still there, but her keys and wallet are missing. I think it's possible that Kiera was forced into a car by someone and made to drive to an ATM to make a cash withdrawal, which would explain why her wallet was gone. And if she intended to go to work, then it's only logical that her keys would have been on her too. Police suspect foul play and are offering a reward of $46,000 to whoever can provide more information about her whereabouts.
Nobody's saying nothing. Nobody talks. Especially the people who actually knew about it. They won't talk, no matter what. Because if they come up and quote unquote, I know what happens, they get arrested. Knowing if they didn't do it or not. If they do it or not. They be looking like a suspect. I said that wrong. Suspect. Yeah.
And help bring justice to her and her family. They've run out of leads, and thus far, no one has stepped forward to supply them with more information. I'm hoping on the off chance that someone out there knows more. In March of 2013, a woman named Eliza Sherman had her life taken while going to meet her divorce attorney. CCTV video shows a mysterious figure running away from where Eliza was later found. The mysterious person running away is all bundled up from head to toe and has their face concealed in a successful attempt to keep their identity from the street cameras. They seem to be holding something under their arm, perhaps hiding the instrument they've just used to end Eliza's life with. Police are unable to locate any other surveillance video of the suspect and have no idea what they were driving or where they went afterwards. Facial recognition technology was unable to provide their true identity. No one has been identified in over 7 years, and the case has gone cold. And then there's the subject of Eliza's divorce attorney, who actually lied to police about his whereabouts and was convicted for it. He falsely texted that he was waiting for her in his office when he had actually left long ago. Why he would leave his office early when they had an appointment is a mystery. You know why? Unless that is, he somehow knew she wasn't going to make it to the appointment. Though the circumstances are curious, nothing has been proven, and so no suspects, including himself, have been convicted for her disappearance. On March 6th of 2015, CCTV video at a bus stop shows a woman walking down Wellington Street in England late at night from a pub. Behind her walks a man who she later describes as having black hair and in his early 20s. The man starts a far distance away but quickly gains on her without arousing suspicion. By the time they are out of camera, he is practically right behind her, and yet he remains quiet enough not to get her attention. Like he's done this many times before. It's a well-lit street, but that doesn't stop him from making his move. She never turns around and doesn't stand a chance against him. I can't go into detail about what happens next. She survived, but she will never be the same emotionally again from the traumatic events that occurred. The same man is also responsible for committing similar acts on an 18-year-old girl a month prior to this video. I don't think he was ever caught, and no doubt he will continue to do the same thing until he is brought to justice. This happened years ago, so who knows how many others he has done this to in the time since. There's a £5,000 reward for anybody who can help police. The CCTV video is grainy and it happened a long time ago, but hopefully somebody recognizes a clothing article or something. Anything to help catch this maniac before he strikes again. At 3:15 p.m. on February the 9th, 2004, a woman named Maura Murray withdrew $280 from an ATM. She looked serious, even frowning perhaps, or maybe I'm looking too deeply into it. Either way, this is the last recorded appearance before she disappeared in a way that's never been explained. 4 hours after this video was taken, multiple witnesses saw Maura Murray on the side of the road with a broken down car. A school bus driver pulled over to help out, but she told him that she had already called AAA, even though phone records later revealed that she hadn't, and so he left her alone, but not before reporting the bizarre experience to the police himself. When the cops arrived 20 minutes later, they found some of her personal belongings were in the car, but missing were her credit cards and cell phone. Maura Murray herself was nowhere to be found. For some strange reason, she simply wandered away from her vehicle after it broke down. None of her credit cards were ever used, and her cell phone was not used either, which probably means she didn't make it very far, and yet her body was never found. Police think she might have been planning to take her own life, but if she was planning to do this, then she would obviously have no use for money, so why would she need to take out almost $300 beforehand? Maura appears to be alone in the ATM video, so it's likely nobody is making her do any of this. The police have never been able to figure out her motives or if she's still alive. Maura called out of work that day and wrote she was having relationship problems with her boyfriend, but whether this was of her own free will or if someone was making her do this to cover their tracks remains to be determined, and quite possibly never will.
Like I said, y'all better check your boyfriends, husbands, whatever they doing every 24 hours a day, and check your wives and girlfriends, man. Y'all need to be safe no matter who you live with or next to. There's a lot of closed doors around this place. Man, two things I think happened. She was tired of it, so she left. That's cool. But suicide is not the answer of every single missing person case. And the thing is, yes, he looks frowny or upset at this moment, but you never know. Maybe she took those $280 or what he said, $300, and goes somewhere else, to another state, to another country. People do that. They tired of it, they leave, no matter what happens. People leave for a lot of reasons. Wives, husbands, kids, all types of stuff. Is it sad? Yes. Kids need moms and dads or grandparents or someone. I know a lot of people who don't have moms and dads, and it's sad. And I apologize really much for any type of reason.
Will be properly explained. Nothing else happened.
I'm trying to be in my kid's life. You know what I mean? I'm doing anything and anything for my kid or my future kid. Put it that way.
Happened for almost 12 years until a rather sinister video was uploaded on YouTube. This video, titled "Where I Put Maura shows an empty barn in the middle of the woods. A man is laughing over a picture of Maura Murray, but we never do get to see what they look like. Nobody has been able to identify where this barn is or who uploaded this video. It could be a false lead or her actual final resting place. We'll never know for sure, and police, for whatever reason, apparently have stopped trying to find out. These scary stories sound made up until you see the video evidence that goes with it. That's when these scary moments become all too real. Franco TV
we
is
have
one
all
of the few
technology.
ghost
We got
hunters
satellite
I've come across
dishes.
who isn't afraid to.
We got satellite dishes miles away in the heavens. Can look down to a penny in the date. You telling me that you can't find a sudden barn it looks like that in the forest? Is how many barns are in the woods like that? And you know it's a big boy. He looks like a big boy. He's probably in the late 40s, 50s. You see his boots.
Investigate solo. In fact, he prefers it.
If it's
Charging
real.
into the middle of the action and staying put is his style. Rarely does he run.
Big
On September
man.
7th, 2018, Franco TV goes to an abandoned house that's way out in the Florida forest. I can't tell you the exact location, but I can tell you the name, the Edison House. What's inside leaves him a sweat-soaked mess. The address is so secret that he had to track down some of the previous owners to find it, and since no one can
that's
stand
smart.
living here for more than a few months, there were plenty of previous owners to choose from. It was accidentally built over a gravesite, according to them.
That's stupid.
And that's all they will say because it's so cursed that just talking about it could possibly bring about years of misfortune. None of this
I
concerns
don't need
Franco
that,
enough
man.
to keep him from going inside. Through the
I
condemned
got
doors,
that
a
look.
trashed interior that fills the
I don't need
investigator
more.
with the type of dread that burns stronger with every step. Everything about it feels off and wrong in a way he can't explain.
I heard that too, man.
That is so weird.
No, it's
Past
not.
a crumbling kitchen is a small kid's room that feels colder
You in
than
a
the rest of the
abandoned house in the
And
woods.
as he's reading but not adhering to the simple instructions on the wall,
Get out.
he hears the giggle of a child. The laughter
That
comes
wasn't
from
a
behind
giggle
him,
from a
practically in
kid.
his ear, and he turns
That's
against
the
a wall
devil.
with a mysterious red stain that looks like it's squirted out of someone's neck. Across from him, this witch-like face appears against the window. It's most visible at approximately 3 minutes and 12 seconds, eyes
Boy.
and all. Undeterred, he goes to where it was standing and looks inside the room he was
And you
just
didn't see
in.
that.
As he's doing this, the same face now regards him through a crack in the doorway at 3 minutes and
Man, you
40
got
seconds.
one.
It doesn't look like it's part of the door, but
You
I guess
can't
it could
see it.
be. The
Turn
upstairs
around.
is cramped and uncomfortably hot. Down the hall is a red handprint that could belong to a child, except it's too high up on the wall. Perhaps they were struggling with someone, trying not to be carried into this room. As Franco stares into the room, dozens of comments point out this figure staring back out at him from within the closet, just like the
You
far
didn't
wall
see that.
says. I couldn't really see anything at first, but when I did, I suddenly wished I didn't try so hard. Something's there. Franco doesn't spend much
Boy, you
time in
need to
this
pay
room because he gets an
attention.
especially
Now,
bad
if you
feeling.
can't see it,
But
I
one thing I
understand,
noticed
and
was
gives
this
to
jet
you
black
and
spirit
stuff like
orb
that,
float
but
up
come on,
towards
man,
him
you
and
don't-
disappear. That's not a bug. The anxiety he gets from the second floor is a little too much,
Aw,
even
man,
for him.
second
And look what
floor.
happens when he goes back downstairs.
I'm hearing
You
all sorts
are
of
in
noises
a
everywhere, and I
second
don't have no cover
floor.
at all, and I'm in the middle of the forest. So that's kind of like one of the reasons why it's going to be a little bit weird for me, because
You
I
didn't
can't
hear
do
that?
This just so happens to be one of the only times he films behind him, so maybe this part is set up. Anyway, this was back when a supernatural challenge called Charlie Charlie was popular, and so he decides to play around before calling it quits. He sets up 2 pencils and waits for the ghost
didn't
to
see that.
respond.
Is there anyone in this house right now? Is there anyone that's
Oh, he stopped
I
that
don't know about
answer.
you, but I see no string.
Do you
It could
wish me
be
to leave this area?
squall with L. You know, you blow into the
A
squall.
closer look under the light at 9 minutes and 17 seconds shows that nothing is tied around the pencil at all.
It doesn't
Follows its
need
advice and
a
goes
screen
outside.
all
By
the
now,
damn
Franco
time,
is
man.
soaked in sweat and still hearing
We got
movements that I
technology,
don't
got
think he's
robot
making up
hands
because
and
they sound too
arms
far
and-
away, deeper in the forest.
And from there, from there, I'm gonna head home. After that, I'm done. I gotta get out of here.
Part of him wants to leave, but he knows he has to explore the surrounding property because it's where
Why?
more spirits roam around their unmarked graves. While staring out into the wilderness,
Rest
he
in
hears
peace to the
them.
people who died. Why would anybody build a house into a graveyard or grave site?
What the is that?
It's not traffic because there's no roads out here, and exactly
I see
2
lights.
seconds later, it's accompanied by a voice warning him never to return.
Holy crap.
Advice that Franco TV decides to take as he
Okay,
walks
I'll
away
listen
from
to
the
you, and
Edison
I'm
house
never
with
coming
the
back
blank,
over there.
horrified stare of a man who has
Especially-
been shown far too much. Morgan Adams is a popular
Especially
YouTuber
if I
who
don't
doesn't
do it
ordinarily
alone.
focus on
That's a
paranormal
different
content at all. So when
I'm
she
not doing
recently
it alone.
suspected that her house was haunted, you know I had to take a look. Let's go over the evidence and see if her suspicions are correct. She claims to hear tapping and scratching on the walls, which could be an animal, but then there's whispers too. When this happens, she uses Snapchat and almost always detects a second face nearby. She has named the spirit Angie, and it seems to have become quite
Don't
attached.
do that.
Angie often responds to her own name.
And when that stuff wakes you up in the middle of the night, screaming at you, get out. Don't blame me.
Though Snapchat could be mistaking the shelf behind her for a winking face, and these two objects on the
Nah.
wall for eyes, Angie typically lurks around the corner of the house reserved for overnight visitors. Coincidentally, the same area where her dog Ollie absolutely
No.
refuses to go. Even with the promise of a treat, Ollie
We
will
got
only allow
technology.
himself to
I
go
think
so
it's
far
smart
before he
enough to
refuses
know
to budge.
That's a
Some
face or
dogs have
not.
trouble keeping their balance on hardwood floors and can actually develop
How
a fear
hard
of
is
them
the
over
face?
time. I thought that could be Ollie's deal because he puts one paw on the wood and stops at 9 minutes and 8 seconds. But at 8 minutes and 52 seconds, he has
Nobody
no
heard that.
problem walking on the same type of floor, so that can't be why. I think Morgan
Good,
Adams could
man.
be giving a verbal
It's
command for
ghosts.
Ollie to
It's
sit
a
when she
ghosty
says okay at
goose.
9 minutes and 8
Goblins.
seconds. You tell me if
All the
Ollie is doing a
witchcraft.
trick or if he senses
We don't
something
know
and is too
what's
nervous to go
Under
forward.
these grounds until we
Come
actually
on.
open
Okay,
them.
come on.
I don't think
Or
it's fake
dig 'em
because
out.
then she tells him to come on and he still won't move. And when Morgan gets to the end of the hall, she hears a noise and shudders. Plus, Ollie isn't the only animal acting weird. Her cat will freeze at the door like someone is on the other side, and Morgan even hears knocking sometimes.
Cut it out right now. Stop.
There's never anything there, and yet the cat stares at the wall as if something has its attention.
Literally, I'm gonna freak out if you don't stop. Oh my, there's orbs, literally.
An orb of light also flies in the direction that her cat is staring. Odd indeed. Oh, and there's also this strange Snapchat photo taken in the middle of the night. It could be something photoshopped, but I see something more to it. To the left of the shadow person, I see a face on the wall, and another peeking out from behind the covers.
Oh, no.
It
See,
almost
told
looks like
you.
the exact same
You
from a
think you
photo
got
taken at
one,
the
but you
mountain
got
pass,
dozens
where
of them.
Angie the Spirit first followed Morgan home. And if you're wondering
And
where
you wanted
Angie
to
is in
be
the
friends
photo,
with
check
him.
out Morgan's shoulder. The dark hair is not hers. Finally, one night, her dad lets it slip that the property was built near an old burial ground. Tell me if you think he is telling the truth here or not.
Nah,
Do
he's
you
seen
think our
stuff.
house is haunted?
He's seen stuff.
The way he pauses and looks away makes me
Yeah.
think he could have been trying to avoid
he's
saying
seen it too.
anything that could make his daughter worry any more than she already has been.
She already seen
So
it.
is all
Just
of
talk
this
about
real or
it.
fake?
She already
I'm
making
50-50
videos
on
about
this
it
one,
and
so your
taking
opinions
pictures
will help
of
me
it.
decide.
So y'all need to be
Way
a
of
team
Vlogs is a
partner
YouTuber
and
with a
talk
hidden
about it
talent that
and
he's only
without.
recently begun to share with the world. A skill that he says only takes patience and practice to master.
Man, if this was real, boy, you need
With
to
a
go
burst
to
of
my
mental
talk.
energy, he can make a can roll
Can you just
towards
do that
him.
for me?
Or maybe he pushed the
Take
table
all
to
the
make the can
boxes
roll
out of the
forward and yelled to
container
cover up the
with
noise.
your mind.
No strings whatsoever. As you can tell, see? Nothing attached to it. No magnets inside. So you can see I'm shaking it around, no magnets.
I personally think it might have been the latter, but watch again and tell me what you see. Next, he makes the object
know.
fall over without touching it. There could be a fishing wire in his hand, but if so, it should show up easily against his black clothes, and it does not, at least not as far as I can tell. He definitely doesn't push on the table this time either. Still, if he could have made the object fall the other way, then it would show he was not using a fishing wire once and for all. I don't know about you, but at this point I'm still uncertain. So I guess people must have been saying he was using a string, because in the next video he holds
could
his
be
hands out to
anything.
show he is not using one
It could
at
be-
all.
Like I said, it's a couple things. It's a couple things that I'm thinking of. Number one, like I said, it's not always screens, man. It's not always screens. We got technologies that we got. What is it called? Squalls. You take it in, you put it in your cup, and you drink out of it. You can just do that with your friend. Especially it's an empty cup or empty, whatever. Like this one, he's probably moving it or chopping it. Now, two things, like I said, it could be a screen or it could be something under the table. And when he pushes all the way up or chops, something falls off the table. Come on, man. Like, do I believe people have that superpower? Of course. But the other side, nah. Like, it'd be nice, it'd be cool, but you know what I mean, it's whatever you think. See, his thing's moving.
However, as one commenter pointed out, he could have a string wrapped around his toe or something. It does kind of look like he might be moving his foot, but it's hard to say. But when he shows the
It's
cup
not.
without any hesitation, it makes what he says seem kind of legit.
Now, just to make sure that there isn't any strings or anything involved, look.
Something could be under the cup. It could be under the cup. And when he picked it up, or it moved to the edge of the table, it fell.
I'll use my shirt.
It's on the floor.
I don't really analyze many videos like this because I don't necessarily believe in them, but vlogs like this are enough to make me wonder. Give me your thoughts about this subject and tell me if you think this is fake or if
I
he's
hope
able
it
to
is.
somehow move objects through
That'd be
sheer
nice, that'd be
will.
cool,
I've got a challenge
but-
for you. Since
If it's not, that's up to you to decide on that or not.
eruption, but it's none of that. It's actually just starting and the worst is yet to come. The massive plume of smoke spreads evenly across the horizon, and at 1 minute and 15 seconds you briefly get a glimpse of where it finally ends. There's no outrunning this event, and finding shelter is almost pointless. The cloud is growing taller by the minute as it heads towards them. The air is becoming gritty and it's getting harder to breathe. Vehicles desperately try to get away at the last second, but it's too late for any of them to get far, nor the cameraman for that matter, who seems resigned to his fate and makes no such attempt. This is a massive sandstorm, and if you haven't found shelter by now, you're in big trouble. The winds pick up and everything around him starts creaking unsteadily.
Yan, nandito na. Nandito na ang isang storm. Parating na.
What is he saying?
Sige.
Someone tell me what his last words are, and if you think he made it through this event.
Of course I think he made it because he's just standing there. And I think he's seen that before. He just
Those are the
didn't have
last
the
recorded
time to
moments before
record
I
it.
assume the sand broke his camera. We may not get to see what happens next, but I doubt it was anything good. Either way, there's something about the possibility of this whole town getting buried alive that makes this video creepy beyond words. A man with a backpack is casually
Anyways, you think he survived? I think so. Because he's just standing around like he's seen it before. You know what I mean? If you've seen it before constantly, why one? You know what I mean? But it's whatever. Whew. What I think about this video is y'all need to be safe. No matter what you do or how you do it or where you going, because that could be your last moment on this off. It's sad, but true. And with all the people who disappeared and died, rest in peace. I'm sorry for what happened to you. I feel sorry for your family. And only 3 people who know about, or 4 people you know, is the person who did it, the person who died, and him, or God, or whatever y'all believe in. You know what I mean? I'm not but please comment down, like, share, join the family, and have a blessed day.